Temidayo. For those of you who do not know me, I facilitate the personal transformation seminars that you are right here experiencing. A couple of people have been here before, and they've been enjoying all that we share. But today is a very special one. I'm glad that all the people who matter in my life are here. God is here. His Spirit is here. His Word is here. My wife is here. My colleagues are here. My buddies are here. And my voice is here. Thank you. Today, I'll be sharing with you on what I have captioned Maximizing Influence. Maximizing Influence. You do well to write a lot. Maximizing Influence. The word influence is synonymous to leadership. The word influence is synonymous with getting things done through other people. And how do we make the most of the relationships that we have? How do we make the most of the contacts that we have built over time? And how also do we ensure that people take as much from us that they require to lead and to achieve their goals? That's all we're going to be sharing today. I'm going to be describing influence from several perspectives. I will also try to identify what I call the zones of influence. I'll take us through a journey on the indispensable influencers. There are 5 categories or 5 classes of influencers. I'll take you through the 5 classes of indispensable influencers, people that can get you going, achieving your goals, and how you also can be an indispensable influencer. We'll also be sharing on the resources that you require for influence. It's a 5T strategy, a 5T technique. T for time, T for truth, T for technique, T for tools. I'll be sharing with you those resources that you require for influence. And also be telling you about the target of influence. What exactly should be the outcome of influence? And I'll be using an acronym of the word above, ABOVE, to let us know what the targets of influence are. And then I'll be concluding with a few paraphrases and a few remarks. And so I'm sure you'll be excited at the end of the day. But please relax. What you're about to hear will certainly turn your life around if you will use the information you receive. What you're also about to hear will enable you get better results in your life. You may be having certain results right now, but certainly with the things you're going to hear now, you're going to get better results. So let's start very quickly and look at what we call the zones of influence. The zones of influence. What exactly are the zones of influence? We always hear oftentimes people talk about comfort zone. Stay within your comfort zone. Don't stay within your comfort zone. But it's important to describe influence before we make an attempt to understand what the zones of influence are. The challenge of the future, the challenges that we're going to face in the future, can only be overcome by leveraging on the relationships that we have today. The challenges that we're going to face in the future will be overcome by leveraging on the relationships that we have today. And those relationships are important because the people that are within our network have certain strengths and capabilities, certain competencies that we as individuals do not have. And so in confronting the challenge of the future with energies that you don't have, with competencies that you don't have, you will need to lean on other people who have those strengths, who have those capacities, engage them to achieve your goals. Is there anybody here who doesn't want to achieve his goals? Nobody. But is there anybody here who knows that in achieving his goals, he doesn't have 1 or 2 abilities? You need 1 or 2 more things that you don't have that is required to achieve your goals. Now, that's why you need to understand the subject of influence. How do you get people to release their resources to you to achieve your goal? The resources belong to them. But how do you get them to release it to you to achieve your goal? How do you get people to give you their time to achieve your own goal? That's where the subject of influence comes to be. And as young people, friends, listen, as young people, this is about the best time to understand the subject of influence. Because every day, young people live their lives under some kind of influence. If the ladies here will be very sincere, you possibly are wearing the kind of hair that is on your head because someone told you it was good. Or you saw it on someone and it was good. Is anybody like that? This hair on your head was not your decision. Favor. Because I see you touching the hair and you're shaking it like this. But the guys, we don't need anybody to tell us to put our head down. Fejiro? Your haircut has to go. It has to go. In fact, Covenant has helped to say, shave it, right? You must shave it. But it's important to know that achieving your goals is not just about you. Achieving your goals is also dependent on people that have the competencies that you don't have. There are proficiencies that you require to achieve your targets. These proficiencies are not optimum in all lives, in everybody's lives. Some people manifest them in a greater deal, at a greater degree, some at a lesser degree. But it doesn't stop you from achieving your goal. So if you are here today and you have nothing, you're here today and you have nothing, or you're here today and you think you don't have the abilities to achieve your goal, be very certain you can still achieve it. So no one here is disadvantaged if he is in a relationship with people. No one here is disadvantaged if he's in a relationship with people. No one here is disadvantaged if he's in a relationship with people. It's important to know that you are not disadvantaged if you have people around you. We must submit, friends, that we live in an uncertain world. Nobody knows what the price of the dollar will be tomorrow. Today is how much? Banker, how much is it? It has come back to 330 naira. Some of you are stacking dollars up because you want to sell it at 350. Bad news. It's coming down. So sell it to me now. Before it goes worse. Before it gets to 150. But we live in an uncertain world. And only certain people with certainty, who live their lives engaging certain principles, who conduct their affairs in a certain way, are the ones that will make the most of this unpredictable world. Today, Iran says they can produce oil at $1 per barrel. $1 per barrel. Nigeria made her budget on about $40 per barrel. Iran is saying to you, you will suffer if I pump my oil into the market. Meaning, many economies of the world will suffer if another economy of the world unleashes her strategies. How then do weak nations and individuals still thrive and survive in the midst of stronger nations? It is by leaning on people. It's by leaning on those who have the strength so that we can complement one another. And so, friends, don't be dismayed that you are seemingly weak. Don't be dismayed that you are seemingly underprivileged. Don't feel bad that your nation may be called underdeveloped or developing or is an emerging economy. All you need to do is to identify where the strengths are, plug yourself within them, and then you get your goals achieved. So let's run quickly and let's see what the zones of influence are. Influence, as it is a capacity to enlist others in the pursuit of an assignment. Influence is the capacity to enlist other people in the pursuit of a worthy cause. Influence is the capacity to enlist other people in the pursuit of a worthy cause. So a man of influence is one who has the ability to get others to join him in pursuing a cause for which they all have an expectation of an end. And so you say someone has great influence if he is able to enlist people to join him. So you have a goal, you have a dream. You cannot be said to be a person of influence if you can't get others to enlist with you. You're a person of influence if you can get others to enlist with you. And I'm sure you know, yes, we've been told severally that those who fly, fly alone. But we also know that two are better than one. When one falls down, the other picks him up. When one is cold, we're told that the second person makes him warm. So two are better than one. They have a good reward for their labors and their efforts. What are the zones of influence? The first zone of influence is self, the self-influence. You've got to know what we call self-influence. Self-influence. The man that cannot lead himself will not be able to lead other people. The man that cannot alter the way he lives his life cannot effectively and successfully help other people to alter the way they live their lives. A man of order will always take away chaos in other people's lives. But a man that lives his life in disorder will always put other people into disarray. So friends, you should never try to influence other people on a conscious level if you are living your life in disorder. The first person to influence is you. It's called self-leadership or self-influence. You must tell yourself, this is the goal I want to achieve. These are the habits I want to form. And you must consciously see yourself achieving them. Otherwise, you cannot tell somebody to get it done. And as we will see later on in the presentation, many people get to be influenced by the way you behave. You have become a living epistle. People look at you and they take instruction as to how they should live. You have become an object of observation. If you are not leading yourself, if you are not influencing yourself, you are not likely to be able to lead other people effectively. So the first zone of influence is yourself. The second zone, other individuals. And I speak about individuals here, not groups and societies. Other individuals. Getting work done through other people and achieving results is a hallmark of great influencers. Getting work done through other people and achieving results is a hallmark of great influencers. Getting work done through other people and achieving results is a hallmark of great influencers. You need to know how to get the next person beside you to enlist in your quest for success, and you achieve your success. A number of people here want to look beautiful or handsome. And then you go to the barber's shop and ask him, please, would you love to give me a very good haircut? When I was going to get married, I told the barber, I said, this haircut you're about to give me is to the altar. You know, it's not, you know when you're about, okay, you don't know. When you're about to get married, do you know? You don't know. You don't know. Now, when you're about to get married, everything to your bridal hair is different. You're going to make your hair, it's not going to be, this is, in fact, they call it bridal hair. For the guys, what should we call it? Groom's cuts. Okay, groom's cuts. So, bridal hair and groom's cuts are here. So I told the guy, I said, I need to look good. I need to have a little more hair on my head because I'm going to wear a cap for the traditional wedding. And when the cap comes on my hair, on my head, I don't want it hitting my scalp straight away. I mean, let's have some hair that I can still hold it. But at the same time, I don't want so much hair on my head. Now, I was sharing my expectations with him. And I had to be very clear. I had to ensure that he engages his skill to achieve my goal. Have you not seen people that you have shared your goals with? I'm using barbers and hairdressers now, or even your personal tailors. You said this design should be like this and like this and like this. This is how I want it. And then you come back, pick your dress. This is not what I told you. And you go raging. No, this is not what I told you. Say, this is what you told me, ma. Say, this is not what I told you. Must I write it down? Must I record it? Somehow, something fell apart in your ability to get that person to understand what you wanted to achieve. So the second zone of influence are other people. You need the next person beside you to achieve your goal. Believe me, you do. The third zone of influence are groups. Groups. We are social people, and the human society is formed into groups and institutions. So groups, team leadership is hinged on the depth of discipline. Team leadership is hinged on the depth of discipline. Yesterday was a very, very great day for Arsenal Football Club. I mean, fantastic day. A day I will always remember. As an Arsenal fan, I watched that match with no expectation. I was not thinking we were going to spring a surprise. But after the first half, and I realized it was 0-0, I started to believe that God, could you be doing something wonderful today? We had played 60 minutes, it was still going great. 65 minutes, it was still going great. 70 minutes, going great. All of a sudden, we're mercilessly messed up. And the young man who has never hit a record against the goalkeeper sent him packing. Stopped the ball, and the man just slided away. What a way to clear your enemy. But you see, Arsenal would have not considered that goal, but for lack of discipline. You stand as a unit, and all of a sudden somebody steps out of his own path, and you lose it. You should know how to influence other groups. We all are part of one group or the other. You don't have to be the captain. You don't have to be the oldest. You don't have to be the most intelligent. But if you cannot get other members of your group to get things done, then your influence level is low. You are in a class of students, and you all have a shared goal, shared objective, and somehow the steps you're taking to achieve these goals are not coming to pass. You, having an idea, should know how to enlist other people on your strategy. You're a member of a football team. You should know how to get other people to do as you've been told by your coach. And I'm going to get to this portion of indispensable influencers, and I'm talking about the coach there. The fourth zone of influence are institutions. Institutions. Men of excellence are men of reference. Men of excellence are men of reference. And men of reference are always men of preference. Men of excellence are men of reference. People refer to men of excellence. Okay? They refer to them. Men of excellence are men of reference. Have you seen what this person did? Have you seen what he accomplished? People will always refer to the man who has achieved his goals. And men of reference are always men of preference. When you point to a man as one who has achieved a goal, you want that kind of man to be the one to influence your life. So men of excellence are always men of reference. And men of reference are always men of preference. Institutions thrive on men of excellence. As often as an organization will have men of excellence, people with excellent attitude and aptitude within them, men who can get things done with less or no supervision, such men are the ones that can turn around an organization. You must strive to be a man of excellence, because it is excellence that enables people refer to you. It is excellence that makes people recommend you. It's excellence that makes people select and choose you. If you are not an excellent person in the things that you do, no one will want to identify with you. And so the way to influence in the fourth zone, which is institutions, is to be a person of excellence. Number 5 zone of influence is the zone of communities and societies. Communities and societies. Men of integrity are always rewarded by posterity. Men of integrity are always rewarded by posterity. Men of integrity are always rewarded by posterity. We're told by the word that the integrity of a righteous man even lives beyond him. The generation of the righteous man, of the man of integrity, is blessed after him. The only reason your name will be in perpetuity in your locality is when you got a positive influence. There are some families, if you go to their villages, the surname rings a bell. The surname rings a bell. Maybe the father was once a warrior, and you hear names like Ogedengbe, Bashorun, Balogun. Such names are not mean names. Never mind if your name has never been mentioned in your village. Maybe you are sent to your world and not your word. You are trying to rock the global scene. Never mind. But it starts from somewhere. It's a zone. You must find out where you stay, your local community. How much influence are you generating? Do they even know you? Is your voice heard? Is your counsel adhered to? These 5 zones of influence are important. First, you must lead yourself. Number 2, you must lead what? Other individuals. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And let me show you what I call platforms of influence. These are zones. Let me show you platforms of influence. There are 7 of them. There are 7 platforms of influence. The first platform of influence is your family. Friends, the first center of education is a family. The premier citadel of learning is the family. The place where culture is first formed is the family. The place where language is first learnt is the family. The place where we all began to shape our values and develop our values and our ethics is from the family. That's a great platform to begin to change the perceptions of others. I'm going to get to targets of influence also very shortly to tell you what things influence is supposed to bring out to us. The family is the first platform. On the platform of the family, we enable our children and the members of those such family units to see how to behave, how to respect people, how to manage finances. Do you know, friends, it's from home that you learn how to return change after going to buy something. Your father sends you on an errand and says, the deacon, go and buy newspaper. He gives you 200 naira. The newspaper is 150 naira. You return and say, Dad, this is the newspaper. As you turn back, say, come, where is the change? In fact, my change, right? Not the change, my change. So it's not yours. So where is my change? At times, many of us try to negotiate it. 15 naira, leave it now. Say, no. From home, a number of people learned how to earn money. Many people have financial lives, all that from home. When we were growing smaller, my parents had this wooden box for us. Very small mouth. The Yorubas call it kolo. Say it after me, kolo. Not kolo, kolo. Small wooden box. Some people call it pigeon bank. Piggy bank, right? Piggy bank. Pigeon hole is the one in the car. Okay, piggy bank. And then you have it. You keep putting your money there. You want to throw a note inside, you squeeze it, it enters, and you know it can't come out in a long time. Now, some of us learned the savings culture from home. And before you knew it, a pattern of life was being formed. A pattern of life was being formed. The family is one great platform of influence. We must strive to ensure that the family setting, the family platform is preserved. And that's why many great nations today are threatened. The influence and the values of those states are threatened because family systems are going down. I speak very boldly about it. I can't imagine a man marrying a man. How would they procreate? Oh, somebody tell me biology, technology. Why do you have to change the system when there's a natural body that can get it going? You don't have to work on the woman to carry the baby, do you? But if you want a man to bear a baby, you have to start planting the womb, planting all kinds of stuff. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have affection towards someone that looks like you? As I see you, I'm moved. Moved by what? And now such things break the value and break the family system. And when the family system breaks down, the value system breaks. So many divorces, people are not able to retain a home. They think getting a home is about making a decision for a relationship, a transaction. A family is not a transactionary engagement. It's a unit for influence. The second platform is the media. The media. Do you know conditioning? A lot of conditioning takes place through the media. They condition our minds that only ladies can sell cars. So they're going to advertise a car, and they bring a lady whose laptop is very bare. Laptop. So she stands, and her laptop is open. And they are wondering, okay, you understand what I mean by laptop? And she walks. Here, sportage. Okay, you are sporty because you're a lady. No. But very, very shortly, we begin to associate beautiful ladies with beautiful cars. Beautiful ladies with savings account, bank savings account products. Beautiful ladies with hair. That's even appropriate. Beautiful ladies with all kinds of stuff. And that just shapes our mind. We begin to see stars, football stars. They use them for endorsements of certain products. The media shapes our thinking. They shape our experience and our perceptions. Our opinions are formed and reformed. First of all, they are informed, formed, reformed, and oftentimes deformed by the media. Because someone who has had a good formation of his mind from home begins to engage negative media, and that information that he receives turns to a deformation of the value system that he has imbibed from home. So the media is a great platform of influence. Today, all kinds. You send a tweet, it goes viral. People are raising monies with it. There was a lady I saw on Twitter, Dolakbo, Save Dolakbo. How many of you saw it? Save Dolakbo. She was looking for £25,000 to raise her fees for a medical school. She didn't have the money. In 3 days, they raised £27,000 for her on Twitter, on a crowdfunding website. I think it was GoFundMe. £25,000. She only said it to 8 friends. That's the power of influence. But that's also on the platform of media. The platform of media. There are things you can get going if you get the media in support of it. How are we seeing all the terrorists recruiting people? They are using the force of media. People are perpetuating their thoughts, the ways of life, by the media. We must ensure that we take that platform. We protect that platform to perpetuate values, Great values, things that will make people live honorably and in great dignity. The third platform is entertainment. Entertainment is the third platform. You know, when we live our lives and we face stress at work, stress in school, stress in business, challenges here and there, and the burdens of work, we are often relieved by entertainment. So entertainment is a platform for relieving us of the burdens of work. And so we are at a calm and receptive stage anytime we engage the platform of entertainment. And as such, anything that comes to us at that time, we easily receive. Anyone who is sitting to watch a movie is relaxed. Anyone who is sitting to go for a comedy show is relaxed. You go to ease off tension and stress. But you see, that platform also, in a subtle way, is used to turn us around. So there are entertainers who don't care and are very vulgar in the things they share. Very vulgar. All kinds of lyrics. But they know that we don't want the lyrics as much as we want the rhythm. So they give you a rhythm that you can dance to. So you're already dancing, they've not said a word. You're dancing. When they slot in the word, you did not hear it. You did not hear it, you're just dancing. And you're going, before you know it, you're saying, You're not saying it. Before you know it, you're wrapped up in it. There's a saying in the pidgin language. Now clap, old mama, they take joint dance. Old woman, they don't just jump into a dance. When they hear a song, they tap their feet, and all of us do it in a subtle way. When you hear a good song, before you know it, you are tapping your feet. That's the entry point. You're tapping your feet. That's good, though. Before you know it, you're rocking life. You're rocking life, and before you know it, you drown. But we must seize the platform of entertainment to ensure that people are not dehumanized. You don't have to be stark naked to pass across a message that you are beautiful. Oh, this is my woman or something. And they start singing, oh, you are my everything. How can you be my everything? You are my everything, you know. Now they're trying to say, oh, my woman, you are my everything. But then the lady is not dressing at all. She's by the pool. If it's by the pool and she's, but why must you show her to us in the pool? Why? She's your woman, she's your everything, but must you show us everything? No. In a subtle way, they promote alcoholism on the entertainment platform. So before you know it, younger people latching on these things, and they assume greatness is defined by lasciviousness. Greatness is defined by these kinds of misbehavior. And so someone who has not blown, Abi, that's what they call it, or what's that? Hammered. Say, I don't blow. I don't hammer. So at age 19, you're waiting to hammer. Looking for one maga that will drop his money. Because our value systems have been punctured. They give us a false sense of value, false sense of achievement. That platform of entertainment is one platform we need to capture. Number 4 platform is the platform of education. Education, the 4th platform. You see, what we do on the platform of education is to help people learn how to acquire skills and aptitude to get things going. Education about helping you to draw from your potentials, the ability to get things done. To educate you is not to give you knowledge as much as to empower you to know how to draw knowledge. It's about teaching you how to fish rather than giving you fish. It's about empowering you, equipping you with what you need to succeed in life. And we do that from schools, apprenticeship programs, and many, many people subscribe to those things. You find so many people in school. JAM will say to us that they are not able to admit all the students that apply to them. Over 1.2 million Nigerian students apply every year. But our higher education system is never able to admit 500,000. So what happens with the 600,000 people? You know what? They become tools in the hands of the devil. Tools in the hands of evil. They can do anything. Get themselves sorted. So the platform of education is so strong that if we embrace it and send emissaries, send great influences, positive influencers there, we will be able to preserve the dignity of ourselves. So we need more schools to come, more vocational centers to come, because people will subscribe. And the more we empower people with the skills to become better people, the more the world becomes a better place to live in. The man who doesn't have skills, the man who doesn't have any competence, no aptitude, he'll be subject to anybody's leadings. Anywhere they say come to, he will come. And they tell him what to do. Listen, friends, if you don't have a goal for yourself, any other person, no other person can have a great goal for you. Believe me, if you don't have a personal goal for yourself, anyone who calls you to enlist on his own agenda will always have something lesser for you. Always. But if you have a goal, and the one who is enlisting you notices and realize that you have a goal, he will work in line with your goal. And his plans for you will be at par or higher, but never lesser. So many of us are enlisted in engagements, enlisted in activities that are lesser than the things that we desire. Why? Because our goals are not yet clear. So we need more schools to come up. Maybe there are people here who have already decided desiring to have schools. We need crèches to come up. We need old people's homes to come up. Places where we can save the future generations. Places where we can also preserve the values of the old. The next platform, which is the fifth platform, is religion. It's religion. There are two categories of people in the world. Those who believe in the supreme being and those who do not. Those who believe in the supreme being and those who do not believe that there is a supreme being. Those who believe that the supreme being are about 99% above those who do not believe that there is a supreme being. But those who believe that the supreme being have it expressed in several religions. From Christianity to Judaism to Hinduism to Islam. And from Islam you have different kinds of sects. In Christianity, different kinds of denominations. And people are preaching all kinds of stuff. People are sharing all kinds of things. And they are gaining disciples and gaining subscribers, followers. People who are saying things that they should not say on behalf of God. Married 10 wives on behalf of God. Some people have even quoted scriptures very wrongly. Say, do all things to the glory of God. All things. So if you are drinking, do it. Do what? If you are smoking, do it. Come on, rubbish. Some people misinterpret it. And you see, the challenge with religion is interpretation. Believe me, the challenge with religion is interpretation. The people who lead are the interpreters of the word. They are the interpreters of the doctrines. And the followers always sheepishly follow after the interpretations. So the errors are not from the words. The errors are not from the words of the propounders of those religions. Most often than not, the errors are from the interpretations of it. If there be a messenger, one among 1,000, one that can tell what is expected of you, Because many people, upon understanding a particular scripture or a particular doctrine, are made to act or live their lives in alignment with that scripture. So if it is interpreted otherwise, they will still act and align. And so the religion platform is a very strong one. Very strong one. Today, terrorism is on the basis of religion. Terrorism is on the platform of religion. Do you know how many ISIS fighters are out there? How many? So many of them. They have been promised all kinds of things. You know how many Boko Haram fighters are out there? Blow yourself and go and get 14 virgins. Who created them? And did not dispatch them to the earth. God just created virgins. Babies or human grown-ups. I'm not sure there are grown-ups in heaven that God made. He makes people and then packages them into the woman's belly. And sends her down here. Sends them down here. So if they are there in heaven, they are not fully formed. They are not adults. So when they promise them virgins, but why do you need 14? Why do you need 14 virgins? Let's even assume they are there. Okay, they are there. Agreed. Bros, why do you need it? Say, I go lounge. 14. No, even if they were here on earth, you would die. They have a way of turning the head. Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. He forgot God. Absolutely. They turned his heart against God. He started worshiping gold. Started worshiping wood. The wisest man in the world. All of a sudden. See, it is not the woman that is the problem. And let nobody tell the ladies here that one woman is cause one trouble. Two women means what? Troublesome. One woman, one trouble. If you have plenty of women, they will be troublesome, you know. No. If you get going with the wrong person, believe me, whether the person is one or half, your life is going to be in error. Religion is a great platform of influence. We must know how to engage. Number 6 platform is the government. Today, everybody points towards the government as the source of our problems. Everybody's saying the government is the reason we're not getting this done. The government is the reason we're not getting this done. Government is responsible for the dollar exchange rate. Government is responsible for bad roads. Government is responsible for no light. Government is responsible for this. Everybody says government. But governments are human institutions that we created by ourselves in order to help us achieve order. We created government. You were a class rep. That's a class government. The people appointed you if they did. Was it a coup d'etat? Maybe an arrangement. It could come by election or by selection. In some climes, there's monarchical systems. But we appoint leaders over ourselves, over us, so that they can help in guiding and steering the ship. One of the laws of leadership by John Maxwell is what we call the law of navigation. It says, anyone can steer the ship, but it takes the leader to chart the course. Anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. Government is not to steer the ship, rather to chart the course. That's why we always ask for enabling environments by government to allow many other things to thrive. Many other things to thrive. Let me close this first session with the 7th platform, which is business. Why must we go into business? As entrepreneurship, why must we go into business? To go into business, you touch the economic conscience of the world. The economic conscience of the world. Everybody is about economy. What to eat, what to live, what to drink. The cost of living. How do we survive? Businesses are expressions of our intentions to live a better life. Those who are in business help to bridge the gap between problems and solutions. Those who are in business help to bridge the gap between deficits and surpluses. Those who are in business help to bridge the gap between the have-nots and those who have it in surplus. Businesses help us to look out for opportunities and maximize them for the benefit of humanity. When we go into business, we are able to participate in the affairs of this world. Friends, the great entrepreneurs of the society are the ones that are touching and shaping the way we live our lives. They determine oil prices. They determine product prices. They determine how much you pay for gas. They determine how much you pay for our hair. They determine how much you pay for our food. Those in business. Those in business. Those in business. These are the 7 platforms of influence. In the second segment of my presentation, I'll take us on the indispensable influencers. And I trust that you're part of them. Indispensable influencers. Indispensable influencers. There are influencers who possess a significant amount of authority over those that subscribe to their leadership. There are certain individuals that possess great and significant influence over those who subscribe to them. They are indispensable people. There are men and women who are in authority by virtue of the roles they play in our lives. They have what I call the voices of authority. The voices of authority. Some of these voices are positive voices, and some other voices are negative voices. So we must learn, and we will be learning very shortly, how to subscribe to the positive voices of authority and how to overcome the negative voices of authority. Some people will tell you you can't make it. Those are negative voices. Some other voices will tell you you can make it in spite of your challenges. In spite of your shortcomings, you can make it. Those are positive voices. And these indispensable influencers are in 5 categories. For those of you who are connected with me on LinkedIn, you possibly must have seen it. In a 6-series submission, I did a series on indispensable influencers. You see, you can either be an influencer or you're a subscriber to an influence. You can either be what? An influencer or one who subscribes to an influence. And so as I share in this part, please note this. I may be referring to you as an influencer, and I may also be referring to you as a subscriber to a certain class of influence. So when I talk about an influencer, see yourself as one of those influencers, or better still also, see yourself as one of those subscribed to such a class of influence. The first class of influence amongst these indispensable influencers is called the class of parent. 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 P-A-R-E-N-T-S. Parents. The class of parents as indispensable influencers are life givers. Parents are life givers. Parents are what? They are life givers across all the domains of human life. Parents are life givers across all the domains of human life. And see, help me here. When I talk about parents here, I'm not talking about parents for physical life, biological parents. And I say across the domains of human life. There are 3 core domains of human life. Man is essentially a spirit. He has a soul, and he lives in a body. Man is a triune being. A spirit possessing a soul and lives in a body. But there are 7 clear domains of man. And so when we talk about parents here, they give life across these 7 domains. The first domain of life, human life, is the spiritual life. So that's why we have what we call fathers in the Lord. Have you ever heard it before? My father in the Lord. Spiritual life. There's a second domain, which is a social life. The social life here refers to are relationships. Every social relationship, every relationship from our families to our friends, all of those kind of relationships form the second domain, which is social. We also have a third domain called the financial life. Our financial life. How we raise money, how we engage money, how we utilize money, how we increase money, and how we distribute money. Our financial life. The fourth domain is our work life. Our work life are places where we express our efforts. And I have a very favorite quote about efforts. Of what effort is meaningless when goals are not achieved. Efforts are meaningless when goals are not achieved. So we have a work life. And we also have what we call the emotional life. Our emotions, that's where we express our feelings. Our feelings. Feelings of love. Feelings of hatred. Feelings of anger. Feelings of gladness. Emotional life. We also have our intellectual life. That's the sixth domain, our intellectual life, where we think and process thoughts before decisions are made. And then finally, we have a physical life. And that talks about our physical being, our physical life. Now, these 7 domains have a significant class of influence called the parents. So the parents are the life givers here. For those of us in management, you hear something like, Peter Drucker is the father of what? Management. So, but he's not my biological father. But he's the father of management. What does that suggest? He's given life to the subject of management. I don't know, many of you guys here can help me with something in science. Father of what is in science? Karl Marx is what? Sociology. What? What? Karl Marx, economist? Is into many things. Okay. Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics. Max Weber is the father of bureaucracy. Now they call them fathers because they gave life to that subject. So listen, if I call someone my spiritual father, he's given life to my spiritual walk. He's raised me up. Parents are nurturers. They are caregivers. So the parent class of influence are individuals who give life or breathe life to our domains of life. So in my career, I can have someone act as my career parent. This is my father in human resources. This is my father in business. This is my father in this. This is my father in that. Meaning, he cares for me. He provides for me. And he gives life to me in this regard. The subscribers to this class of influence are called children. The influencer here is called the parent. But the subscribers to this class of influence are called what? Children. So whose child are you? I'm sure many times you have seen people call themselves sons and daughters of this man of God. Sons and daughters of this man of God. They are subscribed to his class of influence as a father. And listen, friends, we're told in the word, if I be your father, where is my honor? There's an expectation in that relationship, in that influence relationship, that demands that the child honors the father. Honor thy father and thy mother. Right? That your days may be long on this life, on this earth. Honor them. Obey them. Hearken to them. So there's a responsibility to maximize that class of influence. So they tell you what to do. They guide you. And you must subscribe to them by following, by obeying, by honoring. And you don't honor with words of mouth. Substance. Tangible things. So if Peter Drucker is your father indeed in management, publish books and reference him or do things in honor of him. Number 2 class of influence, role models. Role models. Role models. There are 3 aspects of human life, and one of it is what we call the social self. Right? The social self. You know the social self. The social self refers to the roles that we play in society. The roles that we play in society. Many of us take several roles. Some of us are husbands, some are wives, children, brothers, some are suitors. Several roles that we have to play. But listen to this, friends. Your role model, please listen, your role model is that individual that is currently living the kind of life that you desire to live. Many of us have misplaced the meaning of role model. Everybody is your role model. Oh, Beyonce is my role model. Rihanna is my role model. Do you want to go into singing? Or do you want to dance? Your role model is someone who is currently living the kind of life that you desire to live. So he's modeling a role. He's living a role. He's living the kind of life that you intend to live in future. Hello, are we together? He's living the kind of life you want to live in future. So if you want to be in politics, you want to be in government, you want to be a pastor, like Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Vice President of Nigeria. He's a pastor, he's an academic, he's in government, a businessman. If you want to have such a life, you can find him as your role model. Role models do not need to know you. They're not even conscious that you have chosen them as your role model. As your role model. They're not conscious of it. You are the one that determines who your role model is. Your role model does not choose you. You choose your role model. This person is living the kind of life I want to live. So I begin to pattern. He is a representation of the life that I choose to live. So I begin to pattern my life after him. I observe him. Subscribers to this class of influence are called followers. So who are you following? We're told in the word, let us therefore be followers of those who through faith and patience have obtained what? The promise. Let's follow them who through faith and patience have obtained the promise. That's the second class of influencers. Number 3 class of influencers are what I call the mentors. A mentor is a trusted advisor. And the word mentor is someone's name, actually. It came from the adventures of Odyssey. When King Odysseus was going on a journey and left his son Telemachus in the hands of his friend called Mentor to guide him and prepare him for the throne in case he doesn't return. A mentor is a trusted advisor. He's experienced. He may not have experienced or he may not have lived the kind of life you want to live, but he knows how to get you set for the kind of life you want to live. Mentors are appointed. Mentors are what? They are appointed. So your mentor does not need to be in your field. But he has what it takes to guide you to succeeding in that field. He can advise you and say, well, to become a top academic, do this, this, and this. You start asking him, are you in academics? So I don't have to be in academics, but I've been around academics and can tell. Because Mentor in that story was not a king, but he has been around them. He has been around royalty. So he knows how to behave in a royal manner. He knows how to guide. So your mentor is your guide towards your definite end. Subscribers to this kind of relationship are called mentees. The next class of influencers are called coaches. Please listen to this very carefully. Many of you will need to redefine the relationships you have with certain people. You are calling some people role models, whereas they are mentors. And you are calling some people mentors, whereas they are what? Role models. Whereas they are what? Role models. Coaches. Coaches are experts in the field that you have chosen to excel in. They are experts. They provide training. They equip you with the relevant skills to excel in the chosen area. Coaches are experts. So if you want to be an academic, your coach cannot be someone who is not in academics. Your coach is an academic because he tells you this is how to kick it. This is not how to kick it. This is how to publish a paper. This is not how to publish a paper. All right? That's why I find football players, they have coaches, not role models. It's coaches that prepare them for matches, not role models. Oh, there are many players, young players, who desire to have Leo Messi as, they choose him as their role model. This guy is living the kind of life that I want. Great person living the kind of life that I want. But Messi is not their coach. Your role model may never be able to be your coach. He lives the kind of life, but he does not tell you how to get to that life. So you're just seeing him and observing him at a distance or possibly at a close range. At a distance or possibly at a close range. But your coach works with you closely. You cannot say you don't know your coach. Your coach is known to you. He works with you daily. He monitors you. He guides you. He corrects you. He evaluates you. All your performances are known to him. Many of us need more coaches in life than we need role models. We need people. It's not difficult to have a role model. There are many people who are excelling in life, but many of us need more coaches in life than we need role models. We need more mentors than we need role models. We need more parents than we need role models, but many people have role models, and they are not really modeling their life after these people. They are not really observing. So the subscribers to this class of influence are called trainees. The subscribers to this kind of influence are called trainees. And then the final class of influencers are called sponsors. Sponsors. The final class of influencers are called what? Sponsors. Now look at it this way. A couple of people here are planning one event or the other, and you don't have all it takes to execute that event. You need somebody to complement your resources. So you start looking for what we call what? Sponsor. You say, okay, I need a sponsor, someone to sponsor our drinks, someone to sponsor this, someone to take up a particular responsibility to make our event succeed. Now listen, a sponsor is not everything to you. A sponsor only takes a portion or a significant portion of a requirement to make you excel towards a goal. Your sponsor is your advocate. He releases his resources to ensure that you excel in the path that you have chosen. Your sponsor roots for you. He ensures that you get to the pinnacle that you have set for yourself using his resources. Your sponsor allows you to leverage upon him to excel. He releases himself to be used of you to excel. He permits you to mention him in your quest for excellence. Now, these are the 5 classes. Now, it's possible that you are one person that has a role. You possibly are a role model to some people. You possibly are a role model. Maybe someone looking at you and wants to be like you. But you may not know. And that's why, friends, the man of influence The man of influence does not need people's approval. He lives under the consciousness that is perpetually under the spotlight. A man of influence lives under the consciousness and is perpetually under the spotlight. So he's careful in his dealings. He's careful because someone somewhere is either watching him or learning from him or drawing from him. So he cannot afford to behave anyhow. A man of influence knows. He does not need anybody to prop him up. A man of influence is not always subject to supervision. He's self-motivated. He's self-driven. He's self-initiated. You can't tell me that you're a man of influence if we have to prop you all the time. We have to push you all the time. We have to promote you all the time. We have to rev you up all the time. No. And that's why I said influence begins first of all with you. A man of influence knows all of the time he's under the spotlight. He knows. The subscribers to the sponsorship class of influence are called proteges. Sponsors are called proteges. How do you make the best of indispensable influence? I'll just give you 11 points here. I'm going to rush it. And the reason I'm going to rush at it, if I rush at it, I want you to go and watch this back on the video. 11 points. How to make the most of indispensable influencers. Number 1, honor them. Number 2, obey them. Number 3, receive their counsel. Number 4, follow them wholly. Number 5, observe their ways. Number 6, practice their principles. Number 7, enhance their reputation. Number 8, serve them. Number 9, be ready to learn from them. Number 10, be humble towards them. Number 11, give value to them in exchange for their support by giving them remarkable results. I run through it again. Number 1, honor them. How to make the most of indispensable influencers. Number 1, honor them. Number 2, obey them. 3, receive their counsel. Number 4, follow them wholly. 5, observe their ways. Number 6, practice their principles. 7, enhance their reputation. 8, serve them. 9, be ready to learn. 8, be humble. 11, give value to them in exchange for their support by getting remarkable results. Who got all the 11? Who got all the 11? Not by recording, but by writing. Some got it by recording my voice. I'm getting towards the end of this presentation. Hello? Someone is asking, did you get it? What's number 7? What's number 8? Don't worry. Some people got it. I'm going to show you the resources you require for influence. The resources you require for what? For influence. The resources you require for influence. Listen, friends. Influence is a product of engaging several combinations of things in order to generate a result that is desirable. Influence is a product of engaging several combinations of things in order to generate a result that is desirable. These resources I'm about to mention, they work hand in hand, and they can work independently of each other. I've tried to use the letter T to refer to all of them. The first T is truth. T-R-U-T-H. Truth. A man of influence must always engage truth in all of his dealings. Truth here refers to your character. A man of influence is not given to moral relativism and situational ethics. A man of influence knows that truth is a valid resource. He engages truth. He uses truth as an input for improving his influence. A man of influence knows that. So anything he does, he ensures that it's true. Everything he does, he ensures that he's sincere and authentic about them. Everything he does, he ensures that he's morally sound. A man of influence is a man of truth. An indispensable influencer is a man of integrity. Every part of his life is a whole. He says what he should say, when he should say it, and how he should say it. Number 2 resource is time. Time is one of the resources required for influence. You must know how to use your time. You must know how to set goals. You must know how to set priorities, how to determine things that are important and things that are urgent, things that need not be part of your to-do list at all. You must know how to schedule your activities. You must know when to take action on a particular item on your agenda. A man of influence knows how to use time. He knows the importance of timeliness. He knows the importance of promptness. He knows the importance of accuracy. He knows. Because he knows if he succeeds in time, many people will begin to kowtow after him. But if he delays, he denies many people what it takes to learn faster. Imagine you're a role model and you're not excelling in good time. Many people who are observing you will not be moving also at a faster pace. The reason I want to excel faster is not because of me, but so that those who are coming behind can be provoked to produce certain results in record time. Number 3 resource for influence is talent, natural endowments. Talent, special abilities. Influencers know that they possess certain special abilities that others do not have. And so they engage these abilities to get things done. Special abilities, great potentials. They use them all of the time. There are certain things that you can do without having to learn so much. Influencers have these great resources. This great resource, the talent resource. They know how to engage it. Great aptitude that requires little learning. It's more like a natural leaning on them. The 4th resource that you need as an influencer is a technique. You need a technique. Listen, friends, and I'll say a little bit about this. Technique. There is a way. Listen. There is a way that seems right. But the end of such ways is destruction. It suggests there is another way that is right, and the end of such way is success. The word says, you will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way. Walk what? Walk ye in it. You hear a voice saying, this is the way. You hear the voices of authority, either from a parent, or from the observation of a role model, or from a coach, a sponsor, or a mentor. You hear a voice saying behind you, this is the way. This is how to do it. The labor of the fool, we rate every one of them, not just him alone. It shows that the fool is an influencer. Hey. The fool is an influencer. The labor of the fool does not worry him alone. He worries other individuals that are in his room. He worries his group members. He worries his institution. He worries his community. He worries he himself. He worries himself. The labor of the fool, we read every one of them. Why? Because he doesn't know how to. The how to is a great resource. You must know how to. You must know how to. Influencers always know how to. Jesus said this to test them, for he himself knew what to do. You must have a strategy. You must have a pattern. You must have a method. How do you want to become the best in your class? You can't just keep on wishing it. You must have a method. What pattern are you going to use? What method? What technique? What strategy? You can't be a man of influence guessing and wishing. A wish list is never the priority of an influencer. A wish list is never the priority of an influencer. An influencer is a definite and a deliberate person. Very intentional in the way he conducts his affairs, because he knows if I do it this certain way, I will get this certain result. Many of us live our life to chances. Chances and chances and chances. We live our life to chances, begging the question, I can do it anyhow, and then you get anyhow result. But if you must get a definite result, you must work in a definite way. The final T here are tools. T stands for tools. Men of influence engage physical items to achieve their goals. Men of influence engage physical items to achieve their goals. And they ensure that all the items they use are not consumed in the process of achieving these goals. Engage technology. Use devices. Use gadgets. Things that can replicate. Things that can scale up your influence. They engage all kinds of platforms to ensure that they excel. I'm going to take you into the last part of this presentation, which talks about the targets of influence. What exactly am I supposed to expect if I'm under the influence of anyone? And what should I expect if I'm influencing someone? What are the targets of influence? What are the targets of influence? What am I expected to see in my life when I'm under the influence of someone? And what am I expecting to alter in the lives of those who have subscribed to my influence? Number one, actions. I've got an acronym for them. It's called ABOVE. ABOVE. So A there stands for action. Your performance is an indicator of the kind of influence you've subjected yourself to. Your performance. Your performance. What you do determines what kind of influence you've come under. If you are not getting great results in your actions, chances are that you are not following throughly with the influence. One of the targets of influence is increased performance, efficient action, effective results. So what I'm influencing you, I'm concerned about your outcomes. Your outcomes. What results are you getting? If you have come under my tutelage as your coach, I'm concerned about what outcomes are you generating in your life? What are the results that we're seeing? What results? If the results are not like we want them, then we alter certain parts of our relationship. We alter it. I may have been too tolerant of certain things that I should not be tolerant of. And if you also are influencing someone and his actions are not changing, he's still doing the same thing you said he should not do, then he's not under your influence. Stop doing this and he keeps doing them. Don't tell him he's a spirit, I will cast it out. You leave him alone, you cast him out. I have left Demas. That's what Paul the Apostle said. He said, Demas have I left to the devil. I've tried, but his actions are not changing. I'm not seeing any difference. I've left him to the devil. Let him be. I have other people like Timothy who are following me, who are obeying me. Remember I said one way to maximize influence is to obey them. Who are obeying me, and we can see proofs of their engagement. But for Demas, come on. Oh, for Judas, he's the son of perdition. I've left him. There was a prophecy that somebody would betray me. He left himself available for the devil. And even when he had an opportunity to retrace his steps, he never did. So he's gone. He said, I have saved. He said, I have preserved. Jesus said, I have preserved all that you gave me. All that you gave me have I preserved, except the son of perdition. He refused to come under my influence. Hence, his experience is terrible. Be there stands for behavior. Be there stands for behavior. The way you conduct the affairs of your life must change. It must be evident that the way you are living your life is changing. You don't speak the way you used to speak anymore. You don't walk the way you used to walk anymore. You don't reason the way you used to reason anymore. It should show. It said in the word, and they took note of them that they had been with who? with Jesus. They took note of them. They're not talking anymore the way they used to talk. They're not walking anymore the way they used to walk. Their perceptions have changed. They took note of them that these guys have been with Jesus. If you stay glued to your influencer, it must show in your behaviors. How timely have you become? How truthful have you become? Your behavioral patterns. Are you really present at things that you do? Or you are still absenteeing yourself from the place that you should not be found missing? Your behavioral patterns must change. Do you have a longer staying power on courses that you want to pursue? Or after a while, you just give up? Your behavior must change. If you have submitted yourself truly to one of these classes of influence, you must change your behavior. Number 3 is your opinions. Your opinions must change. If I am your coach, you can't choose certain options. Certain options are not for you, Listen to this. Many of us are doing certain things or have certain perspectives or perceptions about certain things because our parents have it. You hate your neighbor because your father hates him. You don't like your neighbor because your father doesn't like him. You don't have any reason. But my dad doesn't like him, so I don't like him. Your opinions are oftentimes shaped by your influencers. Your role model likes to wear white shirts all the time. So you think anyone who wears black is evil, is in a cult. Your opinions are shaped by them. And so if you have subscribed to an influence, to a class of influence, you want to ask yourself, what are my opinions concerning money? What are my opinions concerning family? What are my opinions concerning this issue? What are my opinions concerning, have they changed? Who has influenced this change? These are some targets. It's how you know. And V there stands for vision. Am I expecting something bigger? Are my goals getting grander? If there's a word like that. Am I thinking higher? Am I expecting greater things to happen? We have been preserved for higher things, friends. We have been preserved for higher things. And so your vision must be increasing, ever increasing. The path of the just is as the shining light that shines what and what? More and more. More and more, not brighter and brighter. More and more. It shines more and more with increasing intensity. It shines more and more. More and more. More and more. It shines more and more. It's as the shining light. There's a specific target. This is the shining light. It's like this shining light. But it's shining more and more. More and more. So your vision must be enhanced. So if what you have as your primary target of your career was at point A, when you come under influence, it goes to point C. It is increased. They expand your goals for you. They expand your life for you. And finally, the final target, E, your experiences. Your experiences. You begin to enjoy certain things that you didn't used to enjoy before. You begin to get invitations to platforms you didn't have invitations to before. You begin to get accolades, recommendations, referrals that you never had before. Because you have subscribed to a pattern, a certain kind of influence. Your experiences change. Just realize that you're never broke again. Many of us are always broke. Always broke. In fact, the word broke lives with you. Always broke. Always broke. You never have. But submit yourself under the leading of one who is a financial master. And you realize you're always having surplus. You're always giving. Many of us don't learn from those who have results. We learn from those we assume have results. Many of us don't learn from those who have results. We learn from those who portray themselves to have results. So much packaging in our world. So much packaging. People wear bling bling. You think they have money. Remove it. Empty symbol makes the loudest noise. Someone that is thick. Look at this. Look at this. Listen to this. There's a barrel standing before us. A drum. empty barrel. When you get a rod and you hit that barrel, if it's empty, the sound is loud. But fill that drum with crude oil. Heat it, it's deep. It goes gum. Those who are loaded don't make noise. Those who are empty shout on top of their heads. That's why you often hear it say, we don't make noise to make news. Men of great influence don't make noise to make news. They make waves, and those waves cause the news to come. We don't make noise to make news. We make moves. Not noise, but moves. We don't make noise, but moves. Many of us need to change our experiences, but we must subscribe to the people's leading. Let me conclude. And I'll be concluding by giving you 5 main power phrases and having 2 corollaries to them. 5 main power phrases, with each power phrase having 2 corollaries to them in my conclusion. Number 1 power phrase: manifestation is greater than imagination. Manifestation is greater than imagination. Manifestation is greater than imagination. The first corollary, or following it, is this: don't just think it, ink it. Don't just have it in your mind. Write it down. The power phrase is manifestation is greater than what? Imagination. And the first corollary I said, don't just think it, ink it. The second corollary is this: don't just confess it, profess it. Don't just confess it, profess it. Number 2 power phrase, as I conclude: rules are tools that separate the wise from fools. Rules are tools that separate the wise from fools, from being fools. Rules are tools that separate the wise from fools. Let me just explain that. A wise man subscribes to rules. A foolish man avoids the rules. The wise man turns to be a ruler, while the foolish man ends up being the ruled. So we say rules are tools that separates the wise from the fools. 2 corollaries to that. The first one: be a law to yourself. Be a law to yourself. And the second corollary: be accountable to others. Be a law to yourself. And number 2, be accountable to others. My third power phrase, as I conclude this presentation on maximizing influence, I said, those who have goals always block leakages in holes. Those who have goals always block the leakages in holes. Your energies are dissipated. They are leaked up because you don't have goals. Those who have goals always block leakages in holes. So if you don't have a goal, you have holes that turn to be leakages of your energies and resources. And so what are the 2 corollaries to this paraphrase. Of what essence is speed when you are facing the wrong direction? Of what essence is speed when you are facing the wrong direction? Why running? Facing the wrong direction. You can crawl facing the right direction and you get there before the man running facing the wrong direction. The second corollary to this is, and you must listen, when influence leads to excellence, your experience of magnificence enters permanence. When influence leads to excellence, your experience of magnificence enters permanence. When influence leads to excellence, your experience of magnificence enters permanence. The fourth paraphrase, as I bring this presentation to a close. Ideas may rule the world. Ideas may rule the world, but the executors of ideas are the rulers in the world. Ideas may rule the world, but the executors of ideas are the rulers in the world. Ideas may rule the world, but executors of ideas are the rulers in the world. Two corollaries to that. Take a big leap. Talk is always cheap. Take a big leap. Talk is always cheap. Don't just talk it, walk it. Take a big leap. Talk is always cheap. The second corollary to that paraphrase is this. And those of you who have heard me say it before, there's a change in what you used to hear. Don't be mild on ideas that are wild. You are a child. Not you are not a child. You've always heard me say you are not a child. Right? Some of you have heard me say don't be mild on your ideas that are wild because you are not a child. But do you know why it is said that you are a child? I'll take that phrase, I'll take that again. Don't be mild on your ideas that are wild because you are a child. A child does not know risk. A child does not know risk. He doesn't. My son comes home and he sees the chair from here. He has seen Superman jump. He has seen Paw Patrol. He's seen all the puppies. He sees them jump. So he stands here and he thinks he can jump. He doesn't consider the errors. He doesn't consider the risk. He just goes, if your ideas are wild, retain them and live like a child. A child has no cares. He takes a risk. Oftentimes, he carries away the prize, either of injuries or victories. Final paraphrase. Leaders are ladders. Leaders are ladders that learners engage to become reformers. Leaders are ladders that learners engage to become reformers. Leaders are ladders that learners engage to become reformers. And two paraphrases, two corollaries to close them. Connect others to higher heights and not to worthless fights. Connect others to higher heights and not to worthless fights. Don't let people get into a quest for things that have no results. Rather, connect them to higher level experiences, because leaders are ladders that learners engage to become reformers. The closing corollary to that paraphrase: don't sit on a chair to cheer. Always share what you know to terminate fear. Don't sit on a chair to cheer. Always share what you know to terminate fear. Be involved in people's success stories. Be involved in people's success stories. Get involved in the goals and aspirations of other people. Friends, why have I raised this platform to train people? I got on this platform to train you and many other people that will come under my sphere of influence, because I want to be deliberately part of people's success stories. I want to be deliberately part of your success story. That's why I've invited you here today. I want to be intentionally part of your success story. I may not be your father. I may not be your role model. I may not be your mentor. I may not be your coach. But let me let you know, for everyone seated here, I will be your sponsor. Anywhere you go, as far as I know, I will root for you. Raise the roof for you, because you will generate proofs for me. You will generate proofs, and we will raise the roof. Thank you for having me.